This aluminum soffit is pretty easy to put up. You just put your F channel up against the wall all around, and then you just cut your soffit with the tin snips. That's what I'm using, the tin snips. And then you just slide them together. And I've just been nailing them out here with some 4-penny soffit nails, and then punch them in up to the metal, tight to the wood with a nail set. I found that works pretty good. And you just keep going. And then when I reach the end over here, I will put the fascia on, and the fascia slips up underneath the drip edge, and over here it's just a little L. It'll slip up underneath the drip edge. I might have to pull it away a little bit, and I'll go down to it there. Well, that takes care of this side. All nice and neat. You don't want to put a whole lot of nails in that fascia, because when the sun hits it, it can buckle and looks kind of ugly. So the lesser amount seems to be the better. Well, that finishes up the soffit and fascia. This is the way that end is finished. This front piece here was part of it was bended over, and this was just cut even and just nailed with galvanized 4-penny soffit nails. They do have painted ones, but I found that you hit the painted nail once with your hammer, it knocks the paint off and you end up seeing the metal surface anyway. And then on the bottom there, I just made a little cut there and bent that tab up behind here and put one little nail in there. This piece was reused. This is what I took off the front gable. I see there's a scratch in there, but I reused it in the back here. Nobody will see it though, so it'll be just fine. But anyway, that's how that's all completed. Now on to the stucco. It's that time of year where it's going to start freezing pretty soon. So I got to get all that cement work done, getting all prepped first. Got to put a few coats of paper on there. Go right over this again. It took quite a bit of prep to get ready for the stucco, but now I'm ready to start spreading that first coat of mud over the metal lath I just put on. I ended up with about 3 layers of paper on the wall. And around the windows and in the corner, I'm going to have some cedar trim boards. I'm not going to have stucco right up to the window frame. I'm just going to go up to the edge of that styrofoam. That styrofoam is about 3 inches wide, and the cedar trim boards is 3.5, so it'll cover the stucco a little bit once I get that on. And that styrofoam is 3/4 of an inch thick, and that's going to be the thickness of the stucco. So it's kind of like a thickness gauge too for the stucco, and it'll make it a little easier to put on. And then with that styrofoam on there and the cedar trim boards, in the future it'll also be easier to replace the windows if I need to, because I can just pull that stuff off and I don't have to tear into the stucco to replace windows if that's what I want to do. But I'm ready now for that first coat of mud over the metal lath, and they call it the scratch coat. Get my gloves on. Move a piece of plywood under where I'm working so I can catch that stuff that drops off. It won't go to waste. It'll get mixed in with that sand. Well, I've been mixing this stuff by hand too. It's a little bit different than the mud I was cementing the stones in with. This is 3.5 parts of sifted sand, 1 part Portland, and about 1/3 of a part of hydrated lime. And this is the mixture. And this is the same mixture that I used on the house originally. I had written it down so I could remember it. It's almost starting to get too hard already. So this is the finished scratch coat on this side. And now when I come back with that second coat, that fill coat, I'll fill it right up to the level of this foam. And this will all be hard, and the next coat will stick right in there. It's be a mechanical joint. It'll fill right in there, and so this coat here will hold the outer coat on. Then I'll probably come back with a finish coat later after the fill coat. I think that's what I did on this over here. I think I put 3 coats. You know, the finish coat is real thin, but the fill coat is a pretty thick one. Well, it's going to be about the same thickness as this, it looks like. Some people just go with a second coat and kind of try to finish that and skip a finish coat, but I think over here I did a 3rd coat. I think. Well, we'll see what that second coat looks like. Well, it took me a while to get back in the swing of things. I don't do stucco very often. Last time I did it was when I did the house. But now it's going pretty good. And since I realized I'm using so much cement, I went back to using the cement mixer. That's a lot easier. I can mix up a bigger batch and it just is a lot quicker. But it's coming along. Well, I got the second coat coming on now. Some people have different names for it. Brown coat, fill coat. But anyway, I am filling up now from the bottom of the weep screed up to the surface of the styrofoam. And I got different screed edges that I use to make sure it's coming along all right. This is what they call a derby. That's what it's for. This is a 42-inch derby. But I have other straight edges too, just to make sure I'm getting it out there, filling it in. This one takes a lot of cement. I'm keeping that scratch coat wetted down so it just doesn't suck all the moisture out of this stuff right away. Get brittle and dry. Just keep adding cement, fill it in. From the way it's looking, I'm going to be able to get by with just 2 coats. This will be the last coat. And I'll just come back with this smaller trowel and touch up any spots. Try to smoothen it out a little bit. Give a little contour. A little bit of water on my trowel to make it smooth. I remember now what I did when I stuccoed the house. It was just 2 coats, and then I took this brick trowel and just made some contour lines on it, and then I painted it. It was a paint with primer in it, and it made it pretty simple. And I didn't have to try to mix any colors with the stucco. Some people try to do that, or they try to put a knockdown finish over it. But I remember now, I found out this looked pretty decent. It's like a plaster job kind of. And it looked alright. Easy enough to do. Just got to do it before it gets hard. And this is in the full sun right here. Can set up pretty quick. So that's one reason why I'm making these videos too, so I can help to remember what I did. And that's going to be the finished stucco wall. I'll just have to wait a while before we paint it, probably a week or so. Let it set up and cure good. I'll keep it wetted down for a few days. But it was just a easy finish with a brick trowel. Just makes a little wavy, some contour lines, kind of looks like a plaster job, I should say. But it matches in pretty good with the rest of the house. Now you gotta do the other side. And this is the finish I put on the stucco. That's the final finish. Well, besides priming and painting it, just little trowel marks from the brick trowel, kind of wavy, contoury. It's supposed to look like plaster, old style kind of. I think it'll look pretty decent when it's done. And I got one more strip to go. I'm going to keep wetting this surface down for a few days so it can cure slowly. And then I'll prime and paint it. So that needs to be washed down. The stuccoing actually went better than I thought it would. My shoulders got sore. I don't think I'd want to do the whole house. I don't think I'm up to that anymore. But this actually went faster than what I remembered, but I guess I wasn't remembering very well from when I did the house. But after I started on that second coat, it kind of came back to me about how I did it and how it went. And it actually went pretty good then. So now I'll just keep soaking that down for a few more days yet before I paint it. And then I'll have most of this exterior work done. I still got to do the trim around the windows and in the corner. And I guess I still got to do that gable end. I'm going to fill that in probably with some cedar shingles, I'm thinking. Before I do much more of the outdoor stuff, though, I need to open up the addition into the house. I have to take the old patio door out and tear the wall out and get all the wiring exposed so I can wire up the addition, because it might take a while to get the inspector out here to inspect it, because the weather is going to be changing pretty soon and it needs to be insulated as soon as possible. So thank you for watching this episode, and we'll see you again.